I've been hosting Nock tournaments for almost a year now, and across that time there has been some obvious patterns that pop up both in competitive queue and in tournaments in general. Due to the rarity of getting a full 4 doubles members in order to play, most people when they're queuing competitively often just get singles, and that makes the doubles tournament style a really sought after tournament style. As the doubles meta has evolved in tournaments over the years, there's been a leaning towards low scoring and defense heavy play. Many games were decided by the first goal and ultimately just lead to the offense getting desperate and having to make like crazy attempts, and when those don't work most of the time because they're low percentage, the game can get a little stale, not only just for players but also for viewers in general. Additionally, taking a bit from conversations with ItCat and Gluten, one of the things that makes Nock so fun up front but can be a problem with the meta is just how powerful Jumper is. Singles players are able to control 100+% of the court just from anywhere, and then doubles people can control 80+%. Some people almost able to control 100% even from the goal, and that can make it really difficult for doubles players to come up with strategies that allow passing or just allow you to make a play in general. So much like decreasing hockey net sizes and shortening pitch clocks, I set out to identify a rule set that could make the game more fun not only for players but for viewers as well, and make teamwork a primary objective for all of the teams. And that is how we came out to the rule set for offensive heavy. There have been previous tests with an attacker-defender formula, but it was limited a bit by people not able to attend and referee every single time, and so they had to come up with a very easy to understand, easy to enforce rule set, which was an attacker-defender formula that put someone on one half of the court and put another person on another half of the court. Ultimately, especially if you're going against like a top singles player, the ball ended up staying on one side for most of the time and didn't end up being really fun for quite a lot of people. It turned a very fast-paced game into a slow, sluggish draw of a match. So taking from that formula, I wanted to avoid people from being able to goaltend with both players in the net, but I still wanted both players to have an ability to affect the outcome of both offense and defense. Given that I did have the time and ability to attend and referee every single match, I was able to make the rule set a bit more obscure and still be able to handle the ins and outs of it when I was in with the players, actually playing the game. Ultimately, I kept the same naming scheme, so there's attackers and defenders, but I changed up their roles a bit. So I created a dividing line in front of the goalie semicircle where the attacker has free run of the court, but they can't shoot an arrow when they are behind that semicircle line. So while they have the ability to play defense, they're not able to get the trajectory away from the goal that would be generally preferred. So there's some teamwork there. Do you trust the defender that is on your team to push it out whenever they're in a bad spot? You do have the ability to at least, say, hey, I'm shooting in, I'm gonna run interference for you. And that's really important to allow them to either get into position or get arrows, whatever the problem is. And while the defender is just a regular Nock player, they can shoot from anywhere, they can go anywhere in the court, they're the only advantage defender. So pushing is sometimes a necessity in the game if you're really looking to close out a match and you want to get some points, but if the defender pushes up much too far, then you're in danger. From the tournament, you can see a situation in winners finals where as the defender pushes a little too hard, and due to the rule set, both players are only able to defend from behind Jeremy's shots towards goal.
CAD commandment behind him. There's chicken. Oh, chicken's block helped it push in.
All right, now we have a rule set defined, but how do we enforce it? Do we just take a player out of the game or match once they violate it? I think that might be a bit too extreme. So now we're looking at how do we penalize it? Do we take away an ability or do we take away time? Ultimately, abilities are kind of arbitrary and, really hard to enforce. Like, you're watching 4 people shoot arrows. It's really hard to just focus on one person, not shoot arrows, and then also focus on another person to see if they're violating the rules as well. So that kind of leads to, okay, we need to take away some playtime from them. And just being a solo referee it's really easy to have them go away from the match and do a countdown there versus have them in the match and having to watch them up until the point. So kind of did a little penalty box situation where the offending attacker has to go into the other team's goal because they can't shoot towards the goal after they're finished, so they have to get back into the match. And the countdown starts whenever you get into the other team's goal. So what are the penalties? First violation, 30-second penalty. Second violation is a 1-minute penalty, and the third violation is removal from whatever game is in progress. So now that we have that, do we make it affect the whole game? Each game is like 5 minutes, so it doesn't really make sense that someone would violate it 3 times often. So instead I made it go across the entire match, where if someone messes up in game 1 or makes a strategic decision where maybe your defender's gone, you need to come in and get a shot off, you know, maybe you need to get that block up so that y'all have a chance in that game, but that decision could lead to something in game 3 or in the finals, game 5, to affect like how you position yourself or potentially get removed from the final games. Here's an example of chicken farting getting a penalty right at the end of game 1 in winners finals, not allowing an efficient attempt at an air goal as overtime had already started, and putting a penalty on the team throughout winners finals, affecting their movement and strategy.
Can blue team hold it up? Chicken. Oh, that's gonna be a hard one to get. Oh, it's still up. It's still up. Oh, penalty, chicken.
The first tournament for this rule set took place on Sunday, March 24th, and was a major success in my eyes. Both myself and players had an absolute blast, and viewers seemed to be enjoying themselves too. Pango said it was one of the best things he did in VR, and Jeremy is very bullish on the idea of thinking about positioning a bit more with this rule set versus just the normal doubles. If you are interested in joining future Nock tournaments, please hop in the Discord with me and other great community members. I spend so much time in the Discord. That's my source of truth. That's where you can find me. And a big thank you to Commandment, Jeremy, Ads, Chicken, Jocko, Pango, Mega, and Math for participating in this experiment. And a big shout out for all the members of the channel, Gluten, ItCat, Math, and Samson. I appreciate y'all so much.